Ladies and gentlemen, SideStrafe here today with another episode of the Strafing Run, and today's background game of choice, Blacklight Retribution, which I have to say I'm still actually enjoying quite thoroughly on my off time, except I kind of wish there was a hardcore mode minus the cheater vision and a few other things, but otherwise, like I said, it's a good game to just kind of escape the reality or realistic gaming from time to time. The one compliment I do have to pay to it so far is that the first game, Blacklight Tango Down, and this game are fairly similar. They haven't strayed from their formula. In fact, I actually prefer this one much more. The free-to-play mechanic works very well. It feels way more polished and smooth. So they've done a really good job with it, and I have to give them thumbs up for at least keeping with that original product. Now, the reason I bring that up is because we're talking about today Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Future Soldier, which is out on console right now. I think it's coming out on PC within a few days, or maybe at the beginning of next month. I'm not sure. I haven't really looked because honestly I don't really care, and I'm not going to purchase it. And for the most part, I'm kind of boycotting a lot of the Clancy games, mostly anything that's Rainbow Six or Ghost Recon, because I don't feel that they do the name justice. Not that Tom Clancy cares, because Ubisoft basically paid him a lump sum and bought his name from him. So they literally bought the rights to use his name on anything they want. They could make any type of game and put Tom Clancy on it, and he can no longer really have any say or do anything about it. So, not that he has for a while. I don't think he's had his hands on any of those games for years. I'm talking probably even before Rainbow Six 3, maybe even 2. Who knows? I think he just kind of funded the projects, set up the studio. Who knows? But, you know, he's just rich and maybe dealing with his books. I don't even know if he writes anymore. But anyway, I don't think the games hold true to that franchise. Ghost Recon is no longer Ghost Recon. In fact, I don't think the words ghost or recon or reconnaissance actually fit anywhere in Ghost Recon Future Soldier. And really the only thing that I would ask Ubisoft to do is to stop using the name. You can have the gameplay be the same as you want, because yeah, sure, maybe a lot of people enjoy their Future Soldier game. It didn't do so hot in reviews, I'll tell you that right now, but a lot of people actually are enjoying it from some of the videos I've been watching on YouTube. That's fine. It's okay to like a game, you know? I have a different opinion than a lot of people. But the thing is change the frackin' name. It has nothing to do with the original Ghost Recon except that it's military related. That's basically the only similarity that I can find. Otherwise, it's okay. It's Future Soldier, it's supposed to have all these gadgets and high tech, whatever, but it's third person. It's a forced third person game. There's no first person mode unless you're zooming into your optics. The ballistics are horrible compared to the original game. You're still firing. Okay, it's not, I don't think it's as bad as Call of Duty or Halo or anything, but it still takes a few more rounds to knock somebody down than it used to in the old GR games or the old R6 games, at least from what I've observed. Now, the biggest kicker I actually saw this in somebody's video. The guy was enjoying the game. He liked the game fine. Cool for you. Good luck. Happy for you. But he threw a grenade. It bounced off of a wall, landed back towards him, and it was like right next to his feet, or a foot or two away from him. The grenade blows up. He gets knocked down, but he's still alive. He survives a point-blank grenade blast. That is ridiculous. He wasn't in a bomb suit. He was just a typical soldier. He had a plate carrier on. Nothing he was wearing would have saved him from that grenade blast. Point blank especially. You know, the concussive force of explosives is going to do enough damage on its own. I mean, but he was like injured. He was knocked down. His screen turned red. So he was like, you know, really wounded. But that was the extent. But the second I saw that he had actually survived that blast, I was just like, it has just gotten worse. So much worse. You know, I was in shock for a moment there. I think I was in more shock, and I think I was more hurt than the actual player was from the grenade blast, because it's sad in a way that such a great game has turned into another third-person Hollywood action deathmatch shooter. You know, once again, like I said in my Red Orchestra gameplay, People are obsessed for some reason with being dressed up as a soldier, but having gameplay that almost belongs in Unreal Tournament. And it's just I don't get it. I don't understand. Wouldn't you want to, if you're pretending to be a soldier, a marine, whatever, wouldn't you want a more realistic experience? I mean, or is it just that you're turned off nowadays by Quake guys or Unreal Tournament characters? I mean, look at this game, Blacklight Retribution here, as we were going through some of the character models. These are some of the heroes that you could purchase, but they look badass. They look really slick, and I have to hand it to the modelers and animators and just all the artists and whatnot for this game. They did a spectacular job. The textures and everything are just flat out beautiful. And but you know, this is, you know, it's sci-fi. It's got this cheater vision that's on right now. It's very fast paced. Why don't you guys play this? I mean, this is a game that just clearly stated its intentions from the beginning. They don't want to be super realistic, and that is fine. I'm fine with unrealistic games. I'm not fine with companies just butchering franchise names and changing what they originally were. Don't do that. Make another game. Ubisoft, you have the money. You have tons of money. You obviously make some really good games out there. You make Assassin's Creed, which is a phenomenal franchise. You know, it has its issues, but it's a really great series. And you know what? And you've kept it, for the most part, the same type of gameplay, and that's great. They have a bunch of other games that I'm sure are successful, but why do they keep tampering with Rainbow Six? Especially when there's... Look, Call of Duty is the premier Hollywood action shooter. Battlefield 3 is now trying to be Call of Duty, except with larger landscapes, except for the next expansion or DLC, which for some reason wants to go CQB, because that's what the Call of Duty people want. Since their Modern Warfare 3 has pretty much failed them, they've obviously taken over that. But that's another episode of the Strafing Run. We'll get into that. Don't worry about it. But my point is there's enough Call of Duty games. There's enough of those titles. You know, I really think it would almost do Ubisoft good, and they would honestly probably do better in ratings, reviews, and sales if they were to just try to do something different. Because how many realistic games are there? We've got Red Orchestra, which I looked at a few days ago. We've got the Arma series, which is the best realistic series on the planet. I'm trying to think. There's mods, of course, you know, like Day of Defeat and stuff like that. Well, that's kind of a retail game, I guess, in a way. But there's there's mods that are Project Reality. But, you know, I'm talking about retail games that you got to buy digitally or via retail in a box, you know. There's not a lot. And it's almost like Ubisoft, you know, it would do good for your marketing to just stop trying to be like everybody else. All Ghost Recon is, it's basically Gears of War with kind of a sci-fi military skin on it. That's my bet. It's got the cover mechanic, forced third person, and, you know, cheesy ballistics, I guess, that Gears of War has. But again, you know, Gears of War is Gears of War. Nobody expects Gears of War to be realistic. You expect something with the name Tom Clancy on it. The author was known for hyper-realistic military books. How do you butcher that formula when you're doing the video games? Oh, well, more of our fans want this? Yeah, your fans got it with other games that are light years better than what you put out. Battlefield 3 and Call of Duty, despite their flaws, are always going to be better than those Ghost Recon games. I'm sorry, they just are. I mean, I have complaints about Battlefield 3, but Battlefield 3 is a much better choice than jumping into Ghost Recon. By any stretch, it is. I mean, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure that out. It's just the way it is. So stop trying to compete with those guys. It's just the same with MMOs. Don't try to be like WoW. Don't try to be like the Beatles. Don't try to be like, you know, be somebody else. Be different. Those independent developers out there these days that are just making strides with their own original titles, those are the guys that are getting the attention. And Ubisoft, you have so much more money than them. Why wouldn't you want to be your own, you know, power there? So I don't get it. You know, it's just, it doesn't make sense to me. And I'd love to hear people's feedback as per usual. because it's just one of those things that it just really bugs me. And I'm happy with a lot of the games that I have today. You know, I always prefer realism to arcade games, but I'm fine with playing them. In fact, I could play Quake 1 if I want to, and I'll probably do some more videos of that game just because I love it so much. I can have fun with this game and really enjoy myself. I think that there should be a clear separation, though. I'm tired of playing Quake disguised as something else. You know, I love the arena games, Quake, Unreal Tournament, and I was actually happy to see a new title out there called, I can't even pronounce it. It's called like Nexus or Nexuiz or something like that. It's on Steam for $10. It uses the new Crysis engine. And it's an arena deathmatch shooter that resembles Unreal Tournament and Quake and whatnot. And I was like, oh, sweet. You know, I was actually thinking about picking it up, except that I saw a couple of reviews on it, and they had this randomized weapon thing that really bugged me, and I didn't want to get into it. It had the cool gameplay and everything, but it seems like they tried too hard and messed a few things up, so I kind of passed on it. But it was cool. I give them credit for trying to bring back that genre, because that used to be the premier tournament or professional gaming league-based type of gameplay that we would, you know, come to expect. And, you know, we actually had a lot of gaming celebrities born out of that genre, and it just disappeared once all the modern warfare type stuff started showing up. Nobody wanted Unreal tournaments anymore. They just, you know, wanted to use the engines, but they didn't want to make those games anymore. But I guess there should be those things, right? You know, you should have your games like Quake, Unreal. They should still exist. You know, people should try to make them if they're interested in it. Of course, it comes down to the developer. It's like if I was a dev, what kind of game would I want to make? You know, it's my decision. And obviously, you guys knowing me, you probably can think of what types of games I would make. But it's sad that, you know, we have a genre that has now become extinct in a way. It's nice that Nexuiz, whatever it's called, game kind of came out to kind of breathe some life back into the genre. Maybe somebody else will step it up and follow suit. Who knows? But I guess that's my major point there, is that we're just in an age where we've merged the two genres, and for a while it had disappeared, and it sucks. It really does. So definitely throw me your feedback on that. You know, how many of you are playing Future Soldier? What do you feel about it? You know, is it your cup of tea? Does it have any saving graces? You know, I know that the weapon customization is pretty sweet. From what I saw, you can basically disassemble a complete weapon, and it goes part by part and allows you to customize every little bit, you know, bits and pieces. I'm getting kind of tongue-tied here. Every little bit of the weapon to your needs, suppressors, receivers, foregrips, whatnot. So, I mean, that looked really cool, but I think that was the only thing I thought that was interesting. Otherwise, third-person gameplay for me, I only like third-person for MMOs, RPGs, like, you know, I'll zoom out for third-person in Skyrim, or, you know, stuff like Guild Wars 2, which I plan on playing as well. Like, things like, you know, WoW, like, third-person's fine for RPG-type stuff. You'll see me in third-person in Arma sometimes, but it's only really for the sake of the video, to kind of show you guys my character and stuff, or maybe to help. You know, if I'm on a server that allows it, let's face it, the other people are going to be using it to look around corners, so it's kind of like you have to use everything that they're using so that you can be on even ground. So it depends. I'll use it if it's a tactical advantage, because hey, the game allows it. Do it. Same thing with this. I hate the cheater vision, as I call it, that shows you the locations of all your enemies. I hate it, but I'm gonna use it because it's there, right? You know, I mean, you'd be a fool not to use it. So otherwise, you find yourself dead. I mean, that's how I got a large majority of the kills that you're watching in this specific video. But, you know, I think that pretty much covers most of my rant with Ghost Recon Future Soldier. Also, they're coming out with a new Rainbow Six title, which they're trying to make it super gritty and dark from the first intro thing that I saw. But I think once again it's going to be the same thing. They're just leeching off of this sci-fi stuff, and I don't know why. It's almost like I remember back in the day where cheaters and hackers used to build in these wall hacks and things, but now it's almost like some of those cheats are resembling. I mean, look at this game. It has a built-in temporary wall hack. You can see through the world and find your enemies. Back in the day, we called that a wall hack. You know, people would hack the game to create what you're seeing in this title. So that's why I hate it, but like I said, I have to use it because everybody else is. So I just don't get it. And it was my same complaint I had with Battlefield 3's thermal scope, the IRNV. It just feels like cheating. Whether it exists in real life or not, some things just shouldn't exist in a video game because the nature of a video game makes things too easy. I mean, you got to think about it. How many soldiers in the real world are equipped with IRNVs? Not as many. If you're in a vehicle, okay, that's a different story, but the price of the technology and the reliability of it and how it actually works differs greatly. And trust me, I did a ton of research on those things, and there really isn't anything that worked to the level that the Battlefield 3 one worked. But here I go ranting about BF3 again. That tends to happen a lot. They've disappointed me. Let's just put it that way. They've disappointed me. They've made a powerful foe this day. But, you know, all kidding aside, I think that developers just need to kind of, you know, get on the ball and make something that is just, let's get original, guys. And I think, you know, there's that one guy who started the Kickstarter. I forget his name, but he apparently worked on some of, he started out as a modder for Ghost Recon or one of the Rainbow Six titles, and then he eventually helped develop a couple of the he worked on a few of the expansions for Ghost Recon and worked on Graw, I think. And now he's done a Kickstarter to create a hardcore realistic tactical shooter, which in his words is supposed to resemble, his description was think Rainbow Six and whatnot, but a modern, you know, a more modern version of those games. So he's raised the money. If he's successful with his tactical shooter, I forget what it's called. I haven't looked into it in a while. If he's successful, I guess it will be kind of what I've been looking for in a way. We'll see though, you know, because sometimes these Kickstarters are a little fishy. A lot of times they're, I guess I want to say they feel like publicity stunts sometimes. So I don't know how much faith I have in them until I actually see real product. When I see gameplay, screenshots, video, we'll talk. But until then, I'm not convinced just yet. So we will see about that. But I will kind of look into that and try to make some video updates in regards to that as I learn more. But in the meantime, guys, I think that ends that rant. What's going on in the world of SideStrafe? It's mostly going to come down to my regular lineup so far, which is DayZ episodes. I'm not giving up on those anytime soon. I do have some surprises in store with that, so stay tuned. I'm, of course, waiting for a lot of games to come out. I will probably do some Planet Side 2 footage when I can. Mech Warrior Online, continuing World of Tanks. Arma stuff I will do as much as I can. It just comes down to trying to get into good games, which is really, really hard. So, of course, there's not going to be as many Arma deathmatch scenarios, video of that. So, kind of don't kill me for that one, but I'm trying. Iron Front, I'm waiting on my copy to arrive. The guys who make that game were very kind I guess the guys that work for that, they are actually giving me a copy. So they're sending one, although it's kind of coming from Germany. So I have no idea on the ETA for that. But, you know, I really want to thank them for really giving me the opportunity to test their game out early and make some great footage for them, and I'm really thankful for them for the fact that they're actually sending me a free game. That's actually never happened before, so that's really cool of them. And they're a bunch of great guys, and I really suggest, if you haven't already, head over to Steam, and you've seen my videos. Check the game out. I think it's $26 right now on Steam. You can also order a hard copy. It's actually, I'll be honest with you, I think it's 20 bucks if you go to the Bohemia Interactive website, and I'll try to have a link below to that. But it is actually a little cheaper if you buy a box copy. But I wouldn't blame you if you went with Steam, because I do prefer Steam typically over hard copies. But like I said, I'm not going to turn down a free copy, so I got to wait on that. And once that shows up, I'll have some more video footage for that one. And beyond that, I'm trying to think. I think that about covers it. Blacklight Retribution. I like this game. It's fun, so you'll probably see some more videos of this. Red Orchestra, definitely going to make some more videos. But keep in mind, I tend to space out my footage. I'll do World of Tanks, Red Orchestra, Blacklight, and keep going until I'm done with my lineup. Then I will repeat the lineup. And of course, sometimes I'll just throw in some new stuff here and there. Trailer analysis, if there's a new trailer of something, I'm going to try to do that with the Arma 3 trailers once they release more, and so on and so forth. And of course, I'm always trying to get exclusive coverage of things. So there is that. So pretty busy guy. I am also trying to go through, I do go through a lot of your comments in the video comments. So keep in mind, I can't always get to all of them. There have been a lot lately, and I'm really appreciative of that. I think it's cool that I'm getting so many subscribers, and you guys are totally awesome and very supportive. So thank you so much for making the SideStrafe channel what it is today, and I look forward to it growing further. And one last thing before we get out of here. I've been asked about live streaming. I don't have any current plans to do any live streaming right now, but there's a possibility in the future. I know YouTube's rolling out their live stream service. I think it would be kind of cool if that worked out, because once I get my capture card, I do have enough bandwidth to do good live streaming. So it would be nice to do that. And it would be nice if it was included within YouTube, because that would just make things a lot easier. Although I know there is twitch.tv, which most people seem to use, but we'll see. I've done some live streaming in the past. Not exactly my thing, but I may give it a shot with my new bandwidth and capture card, so we'll see about that. But anyway, I think that has been enough for me today. I hope you've enjoyed my ranting and raving, and the footage, of course, of Blacklight Retribution. Link will be below if you want to try it out. Again, it is 100% free, and I think that's it. So take care, be well, and see you on the next one.